Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're opening another one of these Miniverse Diner. This is Series 4, just came out. Link is below. There is a pinhole right here, very tiny, top of the M. So that should be the taquitos. Let's take the wrapper off and see if it's correct. There is a new Miniverse app, and inside here you'll find a recipe card for what we're building. You're supposed to be able to tap it, scan it on the app, and it like adds it to your collection, but I have not successfully been able to get it to work. But pinhole is correct. We have taquitos. Shows 4 on a plate. We did get a placemat. Our checklist, which has the instructions on there. So again, it's kind of like the stuffed shells where what we're putting inside, in my opinion, will fall out eventually unless it's sealed with resin. But we'll see. I can't remember how that stuff dries. I feel like this stuff, the stuff that's like kinetic sand, does dry pretty hard, but I don't remember what their ground meat looking stuff does, if it dries hard or not. So, oh, that's cute. The plate, it's not just like a plain white one. Very cute. This is the ground beef, it feels like. Yes, our taco beef. You hear it rattling in there. We also got some pico de gallo, which feels like sand if I recall correctly. Also have our tongs, probably a fork or something in here. Spoon. Did get a spoon, part of our table. Our taquito shells. And what is it? Oh, that's cute. Queso fresca. And then the last package has our resin, which is guacamole and a nozzle. Love that they included the nozzle. So let's clean all this up and get to making it. Looking at the instructions, it looks like it does come with 4 shells. They're pre-rolled. You're just gonna fill the ends of them, put them on the plate, add a drizzle of resin. Then you can add the pico and the fresca, queso fresca, or queso fresco. Maybe it's that. But looks pretty easy. Let's take a look at these. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna cover the ends with resin. Maybe I won't. Maybe we'll make it experimental and we'll just see how it dries. So yeah, that's a cute little box to repurpose. But this is what they look like. They're rolled up. You probably can. No, you can't. Can you? No, they're sealed. But you can see right through them. So we're gonna try to pack it in there. If you wanted to put it all the way in, you totally could. Just use a toothpick, I bet. But we're gonna get to stuffing them. Kind of looks like what they use for like it's like kinetic sand, kind of. I'm gonna try to roll it and like maybe stuff it in there. I guess if you roll it thin enough, it will work. Yeah, it's going in there. It's like way down here. So it packs in there pretty easily. And yeah, if you just put like a little resin just around the edge there and then covered that, if you're worried about it. I know a lot of people literally just use them to display, but as I've said, I have kids. Sometimes they drop them, or sometimes they want to play with them and they throw them back in the little container and they're not as careful as they should be. So I do tend to seal most of my designs in resin, even if they're not supposed to have resin. So think like that. If you just stuff it enough where you can still see it, but you could add more if you want to. Depends how stuffed you want it. But I'll go ahead and do all 4 and we'll see how much I have left and how they look. I might go back and add more to them, but I won't make you watch this entire thing because I feel like this part's gonna be a little time consuming. But I do like that they pre-rolled them so they're not gonna unroll. Remember when we did the sushi that I had to roll? Oh my god, that was a nightmare. And they turned out really bad. Normally, most of my builds are pretty salvageable, decent looking, but not the sushi. So you can see it in there. It's about halfway. So I think we will have a lot of ground beef mixture stuff left over. And I'm not really needing a toothpick. It's sliding in there pretty easily. Let's put a toothpick in there though and see. Yeah, it just kind of pulls it out because it's sticky. So I think the method I'm doing here of just pushing it in there until it doesn't want to, it's pushing out the other end, then I think it's full enough and it's going to hold its shape. You could add just like a little bit more to that end if you want it to look more full. I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks beautiful. It looks so perfect. I think I will cover the ends in resin. It'll give it a little bit of a gloss, but it already has a little bit of the gloss because of whatever the sand stuff is mixed with. But I'm gonna do just like I did with my pasta shells and just put a little bit on a toothpick and just gently go over, make sure it's touching the tortilla. I'm gonna do that to both sides and cure it. And that's gonna make it a lot more sturdy for this next step. I've sealed the ends of all of them, so they shouldn't come out, hopefully. Probably should have stuck them to this plate so they don't roll during this whole process. I want them pretty straight. Okay, I think that looks good. And then I did put the nozzle on here. So let's, oh, that is very clear, very see-through green. I'm gonna kind of have a little bit drip off the side to fuse it to the plate. But you don't have to fuse it to the plate if you don't want to fuse it to the plate. I might add a little bit more. Let's add some right here. And then we still got to put that one on the top as well.
Oh, these are cute.
I know. Right where that air bubble is.
Off of my tablet to see these.
I know. They have theirs kind of like that. Let me rearrange mine. Okay, I just moved it a little bit. Then I'm gonna put some sauce. It is pretty thick even though they gave us a nozzle. It comes out quick. But as that drips, it'll kind of fall and then it'll fuse to that bottom part. So now we can add our toppings. And then with this leftover resin, I don't know what I'm gonna make. I like this color though. I'm not sure that we've got this color before.
Maybe you can make a mint green cookie.
Maybe.
Like a mint green Hershey cookie like we made in real life before.
Yeah, this pico is different. It's not the sand.
We made it on the channel before. I think we have, right?
I don't know. This is
yeah,
bigger.
we have.
This is bigger chunks than what we've used before for pico. Yeah, I like this though. It's chunkier pieces. I'm just going to sprinkle it. If you want to be real meticulous, you can use a toothpick to drop them exactly where you want and mix up the colors, but I kind of like just how it falls. Now let's put some of this on there. It's essentially like sand. It reminds me of like the sushi rice. And it does have that kinetic feel to it. So you can drop it in like bigger chunks. I actually don't like what I just did there, but that's okay. You can like ball it up. I'm probably gonna use my toothpick to move that around. Make sure you look at it from all angles because there's areas over here that doesn't really have much on it. and little crevices we could stick some of those spices in. The pico rather, not spices. That was a big chunk. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that stuff. I guess it's okay. Let's see if we can move that there. Okay. And then I have my precision tweezers. I'm going to go into this other side and get some or drop some in there. I need to wipe these off. Then you can take your toothpick and move them around if you want. Maybe add green in there. And just make sure you look over it really well, because that is how it's going to be locked forever once you hit it with that UV. And then of course there's some loose here on the plate to reposition those if you wanted. Or you could put a little dab of resin there and then add them so they're stuck to the plate just like that. Alright, I'm going to look it over real quick and set it, and I'll be back to show you the final product. While that's drying, I thought maybe I can use the rest of this resin to make a couple dinosaurs with this old dinosaur mold. I've been trying to use up my resin. I don't really know what I'll do with the things I make in these molds. However, I don't like having so many bottles of resin. I mean, the clear resin I'll always keep because it's so useful, as you saw me use it today. But the other resins, if I could have just like maybe like 10 or something in case of resin emergencies, if there's not enough I could, you know, add more. But I don't want 60 different containers of resin. So, trying to use them all so I'm not a hoarder. But you can buy like clear resin on Amazon if you think you would want or need some for your builds so you can seal them like I do. You can buy it on there. I did notice that this green, since it's so light, I probably should have doubled it up. Probably should have done like a base layer, cured it, and then maybe did another layer of it, because I'll show you it's curing now, but it's not very pigmented. Here's how it turned out. This stuff, since I didn't put resin on top of it, you could still pull it off. I get what they were going with that, but I don't know. It's not very good for long term because it could come off and move, but I think it's a cute build. I love what they did with the plate. I think that's really awesome. And then with all the leftovers, I made dinosaurs and eggs, and then I decided to make some frogs. So I'll show you those just a second. And then one I had some leftover, or I ran out of the green resin. The stuff looks like it glows in the dark. So I added some red to it, so we'll see what that looks like. But I set these outside. They do feel like a little sticky, even though the UV is super high today. So I'll probably go put them back out there for a while. But here are the frogs. Let's look at this red one. I thought it was going to look cooler than that, but it's kind of neat looking with the red feet. I was like, maybe I should twirl it. I tried to kind of tie-dye it to give it a different look. And then the other ones are just solid green. I just totally ripped his hand off.
Poor Daddy.
Oh no. I could glue it.
You
but
hurt him.
we have other ones, so it's fine. And
Yeah,
I didn't rip their
that's
hands
fine.
off, so
Yay.
those are cute.
My mom successfully didn't rip her hands off.
So that's what I have for today. I do have, let's see, what do we have left? We have the tacos.
Tacos?
Oh, the salad. I'll probably do the salad next. I'm kind of postponing doing the tacos for whatever reason. But
for the
yeah,
ice cream
and then
tacos.
whenever these get to our store, we'll have the full set because of the pinholes. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this build, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.